All right. All right, good evening. So will the meeting of the Planning and Zoning Commission for Wednesday, June 21st, 2023, please come to order. This evening's meeting will be hybrid planning and zoning meeting hosted. This is all hybrid, right?
No, this is virtual. I'm sorry.
Virtual. This evening meeting will be a virtual meeting by Zoom, virtual planning and zoning meeting hosted by Zoom. During this meeting, our procedure will be as follows. When you first enter the Zoom meeting, you will be virtual waiting room until the meeting host admits you. Please be aware that your camera, if you have one, and your microphone will be muted by the meeting host when you enter the meeting. You can turn on your camera anytime so that you can be seen by others when and if you choose to. In order to run an efficient and orderly meeting in this virtual environment, unless stated otherwise by the meeting chairman during the meeting host will keep everyone other than the commission members muted. You will still be able to hear everything said by the commission members, even if you are muted and or your camera is not on. There will be opportunity for public comment during the public hearings, at which time public participants will be unmuted. 3, the secretary will read out the call of the meeting as published according to the Governor Lamont's executive order. 4, during the public hearing, the applicant will be invited to present the application, explaining to the commission and others present what is being requested. The meeting host will share all related documents on the screen as needed. In addition, all applications and supporting materials for each application are on the agenda and available through the public meeting calendar, end quote, page on the town's website, www.guilfordct.gov, and also through the direct link on the planning and zoning page. 5, comments of town agencies will be read for each application if there are any. There will be clarifying questions from the commissioners. Then there will be an opportunity for clarifying questions from the audience. Please raise your hand through the Zoom platform and wait to be called on and unmuted. As this public hearing must be recorded, it's necessary for speakers to identify themselves each time they speak by stating their name and their address clearly. After all clarifying questions are exhausted, those who wish to speak in support of the application will be asked to come forward, state their name and address for the record, and make a statement. Then those who wish to speak in opposition to the application will be asked to come forward, state their name and address for the record, and make a statement. The applicant will then have an opportunity to address any questions or concerns raised by the public or the commissioners. 9, once the public hearing closed, the applicant is free to leave or remain for the balance of the public hearing in the regular meeting, during which the commission will try to reach a decision on each application. Each applicant will be notified in writing as to the decision of the commission and has a right to appeal the Superior Court if desired. 10, the decisions of this meeting are available the day after the meeting by calling the Planning and Zoning Department at 203-453-8039 or by emailing planning.zoning@guilfordct.gov after 9 a.m. 11, all actions taken on applications tonight by the commission will be by roll call vote. All commissioners and staff will identify themselves for the record before speaking. Seated this evening are the following members, and please identify when I call you. I have Larry Rizzolo.
Here.
Jason Marchi.
Here.
Kevin Clark.
Here.
Bill Freeman.
Here.
Sean Cosgrove.
Here.
And I didn't see Ted, and I'm Frank DeAndrea.
No, I'm here. I'm here.
Okay, Ted Sands.
Here.
All right, and I'm Frank DeAndrea. Thanks, Ted. Okay, staff, let's see. So staff present are John. How do I spell is John Gozowski here?
No.
No, it's just
okay.
me tonight.
Just Steve. Okay, so Steve is our Steve Hotnick is our interim town planner. We have Janique Morgan, our administrative assistant, and the planning and zoning. So this meeting will be recorded via the Zoom platform and made available on the town website for viewing. The secretary is Sean, right?
Correct.
Will you please read the legal notice?
Can you put that up on the screen, Jenny?
I'm sorry, there's no legal notice since it's continuing.
Okay, so all the items we're considering are being continued.
Correct.
Thank you.
All public,
Okay.
yes.
Right, then let me open this up. We get a motion to open the 230 Water Street.
So moved.
Second.
And that needs to be a roll call, so Larry Rizzolo,
Yes.
Jason,
Yes.
Kevin.
Yep.
Ted,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Sean,
Aye.
and I will also vote aye. Thank you very much.
I'm
Is
sorry.
somebody here to present for the 230 Water Street?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear who
Yeah.
seconded.
I seconded it.
Oh,
Jason.
thank you. Okay.
Good evening. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
This is Greg Fettis with Fettis Engineering, an office at 70 Essex Street, Mystic, Connecticut, representing the owner of 230 Water Street. We presented 2 weeks ago. We had a few outstanding items with staff. I believe there's a memo in the record from the interim town planner that basically says we addressed all comments, which was basically some erosion control clarification on some details of the gravel parking lot, limits of boat storage, and the infiltration, underground infiltration for the addition, as well as the rebuilding of one of the storage sheds. Just to kind of remind everyone, we're taking down an existing retail store, which is in severe disrepair, doing an addition to one of the existing buildings, slight reduction in building coverage, slight reduction in floor area, slight reduction in impervious coverage. Again, I think we have addressed everything. If there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Thank you very much. Steve, were from the last meeting, all the town, the staff conditions were met?
Yes, there was a memo provided by the town engineer that stated that her comments had been addressed. She did mention that the existing building, that addition that's being added, may need to be flood compliant depending on the cost of the work proposed and the value of the existing building. But she needs more information, and that would be determined at the time of a building permit.
Okay, perfect.
I also submitted a memo which states that the comments I had made were addressed, and I provided a draft motion.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. Kevin, you want to take this one? Get it into the record here?
Got it. Talking about Janice's letter, correct?
Yeah, it should be on the screen.
Yep. To Planning and Zoning from Janice Ecclesiak, Town Engineer, regarding 230 Water Street. A site visit confirmed that what was thought to be millings, is this the right one? Yep. Actually crushed stone in the area now shown for boat storage on the revised plans. This area would not be considered impervious, so stormwater management for this area of the site is not needed. The new addition to the existing building is called out to have roof leaders to underground infiltration, which are now shown in the plans in detail for proper sizing, along with infiltrators for the proposed rebuilt building. Since these infiltrators are for a plan with a decrease in impervious surface area overall on the site, a stormwater maintenance plan for the stormwater management infiltrators and a covenant are not required. The new addition to the existing building is shown to be elevated above the base flood elevation plus 1 foot for flood compliance. The existing building, the addition is being added to may need to be made flood compliant depending on the cost of the work proposed and the value of the existing building. More information is needed to make a final determination on flood compliance for the existing building, but that level of detail for flood compliance will be handled at the time of the building and flood hazard permits.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Kevin. Jenrique, you want to pop up Steve's, and Steve, I think you could read it, right?
Sure, yeah, it'll be quick.
Good deal. Or if you have it, you could just read it into the record. I don't know if you have it in front of you.
I'll just read it.
Great.
This is a memo dated June 20th from myself, Steve Natick, interim town planner. It has a header that says plan review comments, and it says all plan review comments from myself and the town engineer have been addressed and a draft motion is provided. I don't think I need to read the draft motion at this point.
No. Thank you very much, Steve. Okay, so is there any other memos?
Yes, from the health department, but she put everything in one, so I hope you guys could see it. So you would just read this one on top.
Okay,
Here with your shoulders.
so this is to the Planning and Zoning Commission dated June 21st, 2023. Greg Fetus Engineering LLC, 230 Water Street, map 32, lot 97. Health Department has completed the soil testing. The code complying area has been identified. So a B100A Health Department will be approved. Any other memos?
That is it. Yes.
Okay, do I have any questions from the commissioners at this point?
However, we also have a letter from the public. So there's a letter to be read.
All right, let's pop that up.
Okay.
Bill, you want to take this one?
Comment to the Guilford Connecticut Planning and Zoning Commission regarding an application for the special permit and coastal site plan property of 230 Water Street, June 14th, 2023. Submitted by property owner Susan M. Murphy, 236 Water Street, Guilford. Gentlepersons, I write in support of the application. My unimpeded sightline views over the salt marsh, including water views of Long Island Sound from the back first floor kitchen, are very critical to my enjoyment, as well as the resale value of my property. Over the years, my relationship with the former and present owners of the Guilford Boatyard cooperative arrangements have been included tree and brush clearing on their property. Low building lights, mindful positioning of large boats in winter storage. The boatyard has been generous in granting driveway access from their property into mine for large delivery and construction and maintenance vehicles, especially following storm damage and septic system work, as well as routine landscaping and tree work. I appreciate their attention to inland wetlands and commend you for habitat preservation in this coastal space. In my residence here since 1970, I can testify to how the salt marsh has been and continues to be a very critical safety valve against flooding. I get balancing development and bird song is complicated. Thank you for your public service. Sincerely, Suzanne Murphy.
Thank you, Bill. Okay, is that it for public comment or letters that were submitted?
Yes.
Okay, so let me ask that question again. I don't think so, but does anybody from the commission have a question at this point?
I would just say I appreciate that there was not a stormwater management plan required.
Good point.
Yes. Any questions from the public? Did I see a hand or no? Nothing. Okay. Any comments in favor of the application? Any comments against this application? Okay. So hearing none, can we get somebody to close this?
So moved.
Second,
Okay, Larry,
Yes.
Jason,
Yes.
Kevin,
Yes.
Ted,
yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Sean,
Aye.
and I will vote aye as well. Okay, we will deliberate on this shortly. Can we get, you're welcome. Can we get a motion to open up the 441 or to hear the 441 Boston Street?
So moved.
Second,
Okay, Larry,
Yes.
Jason,
Yes.
Kevin,
Yes.
Ted,
yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Sean,
Aye.
Frank, me, I will vote aye as well. Okay, is somebody here to present for the 441 Boston Street?
Yes, good evening, Jim Preddy, Criscolo Engineering, 420 East Main Street in Branford. Representing the applicant and owners at 441 Boston Street. We did present this at the last meeting and there were some changes that were requested, which we have made. Some from staff, some from the Design Review Committee. Can I share my screen?
Sure.
I'll just go through what's changed quickly.
Are you available to share? Are you allowed?
Not
to
yet.
share? Could you try there now?
There you go.
Okay.
Hopefully you can all see that.
Yep, we can. see.
So this is the existing conditions plan. Obviously, not much has changed there, with the exception of the fact that there was Steve had made asked the question about some sort of parking agreement, and I thought he meant on 441, and so I dug into it a little bit, and there was actually a parking agreement on 421 going back to 1987. That granted the existing daycare 15 parking spaces over here. So the existing conditions plan, the only thing we added was the reference to that deed and that map, which is on here now. The site plan has changed a little, slightly. We backed off some of the paving area here to eliminate the double row of parking that was not really liked by anyone. And I could zoom in a little bit here. What we've added is wheel stops and painted like sidewalk area as a collector, so that everybody doesn't need to walk in the this crosshatched area here. They could get, if they're getting out of a car, they can go in between and then walk down in front. Additionally, the play yards got a little bit bigger. We did move out the sidewalk along this side about a foot. This was from the DRC to make this planting area in the front 4 feet wide. There was we have committed to taking this house down at some point in the future. The DRC had asked us to provide landscaping in that area, which we've noted on here. They also said that the landscaping that would result in the removal of the house, we could go back to them after planning and zoning hopefully approves it, so as not to hold things up with them or with you folks. Let's see, go back to this. The other thing that they asked, we line the sidewalk up, the connection sidewalk up to where the entry door is, and provided a canopy, which they asked for. That's the landscaping plan we just spoke of. We did provide a lighting plan, the light cut sheet, and the light levels are on this, which I believe Steve has reviewed. This was the architectural plan that has changed. This was the canopy that they've asked to be added, and they asked for some the pitch change on this roof to I guess more mimic the height at the other building, and some color. So the two items that they were asked to go back to them to show them was the color change and the landscaping in the front. During the commission meeting last time, we were asked about parking at the other facilities that Brighton Early owns. And so this is a comparative parking counts with the license agreement and the enrollment and the number of spaces, and then the average per space. And you can see they're all very close. So, you know, we feel that the parking that we've provided will adequately handle what's expected here for enrollment. And at that, I guess at this point, I will let Steve speak to, you know, the things we've changed and the town's reaction.
Okay, thank you. Steve, is he referring to you? I think.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, I'll go ahead and share my memo that I submitted for the record. In short, the applicant has supplied revised landscaping and lighting plans in accordance with the staff's comments that were issued prior to the June 7th Planning and Zoning meeting. The applicant has revised the plans in accordance with the comments received by the Design Review Committee at their meeting on June 14th and has agreed with the Design Review Committee to incorporate minor changes relevant to the lighting, landscaping, and signage once they are finalized. The applicant has provided sufficient evidence of adequate parking, including evidence of an easement on the adjacent property, number 221 Boston Street, which permits parking of 15 vehicles for a total of 30 available parking spaces for the daycare. They have also submitted a copy of that easement that's filed in the Guilford Town Clerk's office and a copy of the map that's referenced in the easement agreement. And it's an easement agreement for, if I'm saying this correctly, or if I'm saying this incorrectly, please correct me. Easement agreement for a right-of-way for the industrial property in the rear of the daycare to pass over the daycare's travel lane next to the parking spaces, and then appears to grant them the right to use 15 of their parking spaces for a total of 30. And lastly, the neighboring property owner's representative, attorney Jim Brownstein, has requested a 30-day extension to the public hearing in order to further review the revised plans, which were submitted this past Monday, 6/19 at 4 p.m. A 30-day extension at this point is not permitted without the consent of the applicant due to the commission's 35-day statutory deadline to close the public hearing, which would expire on July 12th. However, the hearing can be continued to July 5th without any conflict with that 35-day window. The letter submitted by Jim Brownstein, I'm anticipating being read into the record. I won't go into too much detail at this point, but at this point, it's my recommendation that despite the town staff comments having been adequately addressed, that the commission continue the hearing to the July 5th regular meeting to permit the submission of additional public testimony, and no extension is required at this point by the applicant.
Okay, thank you, Steve. So commissioners, take that in and digest it for a little bit. Do we have some other memos that we want to get up there and get rid?
Yes, we have one from the town engineer.
Sean, you want to take this one?
Sure. To Planning and Zoning Commission from Janice Plesiak, Town Engineer, June 20th, 2023, regarding 441 Boston Street site plan and coastal site plan. The project includes a rain garden for the new roof area, stormwater management, and it would be preferred to locate this rain garden on the opposite side of the building where the house is now proposed to be demolished and where there is capacity to infiltrate the stormwater on site. The plans have improved with the addition of landscaping and other proposed site improvement.
Okay, thank you, Sean. Do we have other memos here?
Yes, there is one more from Health. Again, it's joined, so it's just right here.
Okay, Ted.
All right. To planning and zoning, June 21st, 2023, re-agenda item, planning and zoning. Greg Fettis Engineering LLC, 230.
No, not that one. Not the, go to the second line, the secondino.
Okay, yes. The Health Department is working with the applicant in the Office of Early Childhood and will be able to approve the project.
All right, thanks, Ted. So that was for 441 Boston Street.
Yep.
Is that it for the memo?
That is it for the town memo, but we do have a couple public comments.
Yeah, I'm interested in the Brownstein letter because that is going to delay this until July 1st, apparently.
Is Attorney Brownstein here? No, I don't see him. All right, let's pop that up and let's get it read in. That is not the letter.
Very cute.
Is there anybody from his office here?
Yes, that's me. Sorry about that.
Oh,
Attorney Brownstein wasn't able to be here tonight, but I'm here on his behalf.
okay, but what are we looking
What are
at
we
here?
looking at? What are we looking
I
at?
know what we're looking at.
Is the dog's mouth gonna move when you read the letter?
Oh, I'm sorry.
There we go.
That's your Nick's little cute puppy.
There we go.
Okay, so can you just, I'm sorry, can you just identify yourself, name and address for the record, and then you could read the letter, please.
Sure, absolutely. Lorna Stone, 3211 Flanagan Drive, Glastonbury. This is a letter dated June 16th, 2023, sent to the Planning and Zoning Commission regarding 441 Boston Street. And it reads as follows. Dear Ms. Stein, please be advised that this office represents Russo Real Estate LLC, the current owner of property located at 421 Boston Street. This letter constitutes written notice of our client's opposition to the application submitted by James M. Preddy of Criscuolo Engineering LLC to the Town of Guilford Planning and Zoning Commission. If approved, the application, which seeks a coastal site and special permit to allow expansion of the existing daycare buildings located at 441 Boston Street, would have a significant harmful impact on our client's use of its adjoining property. For over 30 years, our client and its tenants have openly, continuously, and exclusively used all but 3 or 4 parking spaces located on the north side of building number 1 on the 421 Boston Street property. The other 3 or 4 parking spaces have been used by the adjoining property owner. To the best of our client's knowledge, neither adjoining property owner has expressed any concern with respect to this parking arrangement. Recently, however, our client discovered documents that indicate a potential conflict concerning the use of these parking spaces, which our client wishes to address before the commission makes a decision as to the application. It is our client's understanding that the applicant is currently revising its site plan to include the parking located on our client's property. To date, we have not had the opportunity to review the amended plan. A public hearing on the application was originally scheduled for June 7th, 2023, and has since been continued to June 21st, 2023. For the foregoing reasons, we respectfully request that the public hearing be continued for a minimum of 1 month to allow our client the opportunity to review the amended site plan and speak with the adjoining property owner and prospective buyer in an attempt to resolve the apparent parking issues. Should we be unable to amicably resolve any potential issues dealing with the parking spaces, we will have to consider all possible litigation avenues, including, without limitation, an adverse possession claim dealing with the subject parking spaces, as well as challenging any decision made by the commission in the event the commission acts on the application, which we all understand has been amended since the initial application was filed at this time and makes a decision that is harmful to our client. It was only after our client reviewed the recently filed amended site plan that we realized there would be harmful effects to our client and its property. We believe we will be able to resolve any and all issues with our neighbor and the new prospective buyer, but need adequate time to do so and assume the hearing will be further continued accordingly. Please do not hesitate to contact the undersigned with any questions or concerns. Very truly yours, James S. Brownstein.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, and do we have another one?
Yes, we have some email correspondence, but I do have a cover letter for it first, so I could do that first.
Thank you. Okay, who is up?
Same person?
This is my letter, so I'll
Oh.
read that as well. That's all right.
There we go.
Lorna Stone, 3211 Flanagan Drive in Glastonbury. This is in letter dated June 21st, 2023, directed to Janique Morgan of the Guilford Planning and Zoning Commission regarding 441 Boston Street. Dear Ms. Morgan, as you are aware, this office represents Russo Real Estate LLC, the current owner of property located at 421 Boston Street. At the discretion of Steve Hetnick, interim town planner, we request that the following written testimony be submitted into the public record for 441 Boston Street, special permit and coastal site plan application. 1, email correspondence between Mr. Natek and Attorney Brownstein, and 2, letter to the Planning and Zoning Commission dated June 16th, 2023. We reiterate our client's opposition to the application on the basis that its approval would have a significant harmful impact on our client and its tenants with respect to the apparent parking issues. We further respectfully request the postponement of tonight's hearing, given that all parties were not timely advised of the amended site plan. As noted in the June 16th, 2023 letter, we believe any and all issues between the owners of the adjoining properties can be resolved if given adequate time to do so. Please do not hesitate to contact the undersigned with any questions or concerns. Very truly yours, Lorna Stone.
Okay, thank you.
We also have the email exchange that was sent as well. Here we go. I probably should start from the bottom, go on.
Does this have to all be read into the record?
I don't believe so.
Okay,
It's all, yeah, it's basically in the record.
all right, so I think we'll start back from the top. I think we started with Bill, right? If I missed you, I apologize, but Bill, you want to start us?
Okay,
Question.
I'm sorry. Let me just,
Are we reading all of these in?
Apparently.
I don't believe we.
Wait, no, I thought, that-
We didn't
There-
done this before.
We don't have to read them all in.
no,
No, they're public record.
Usually this kind of stuff is not read in.
Oh, okay, so let's not read it in.
Thank you.
not a problem.
Okay, so Steve, am I correct in what your initial assumption, well, your comments about the 30 days, so we can go to the June 5th, but legally we couldn't go a day past that, right? To the July 5th, right? We can't go any further than that. Is that correct legally?
I will clarify that I'm going to pull up my memo quick, 1 second, and I'll get you the dates.
Frank?
The-
At some point, I assume we can have some questions for both Chris Golo and Steve.
100%. I just want to make sure that this is clear.
Sure. So the commission has a 35-day deadline to close the public hearing and a 65-day deadline after that to conclude deliberations on the application. The applicant can consent to a 65-day extension to any portion of
yeah, all right.
the public hearing or the deliberations at this
All right,
point.
so the
But
the deadline facing us is the public hearing deadline.
Which is July 12th, yes.
Right.
Okay, got it. All right, so let's do that. Let's open up for some questions from the commissioners at this point.
Well,
Yes, Bill.
So this is sort of just general question. I didn't understand, from what Mr. Chris, excuse me, it says Chris Golo Engineering, but I didn't get your name.
Jim Preddy.
Okay, so Jim said that there was this document that he found that said that there was 15 parking spaces on the other person's property. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
All right, and so, but it's not shown on the drawings that you presented to us, is it?
It's indicated because it's on the property next door.
But is it something that Steve referred to you that we're using as to meet some standard for number of parking spaces?
It is.
Okay, so isn't this a civil thing between the two parties and not really germane to what we're doing? I mean, this is something that's on the land record, that's an easement, and it doesn't really have anything to do with us, is that correct?
I think so. But
I think it
Any other
just,
commissioners have experience with something like this? I mean, to me, this is not really our wheelhouse to decide something that they need to get together as landowners and determine.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
So Bill, I'm gonna follow up on your comment about if there's an easement, does the easement specifically mention parking?
yes.
And how many parking spaces?
So I'll try to clarify. This is the document that I had sent, forwarded to Steve. There was actually two easement documents that were recorded consecutively in 1987. The first one grants the owner of it was Cradles of Crayon, is the existing daycare now. And it's here highlighted, a permanent easement right away to enter, and then shall contain a minimum of 15 spaces. And then it goes on to describe it in Schedule A and B. This is the description that references a map that was done, or a plan that was filed by Robert Mangino, which is also here. And unfortunately, this is flipped upside down from our plan. So this is where the daycare is down here. And these are the 15 spots that are referenced. And if I zoom in close enough, I'm sorry about the copy, is the best I could do.
So I actually drove
Right here, sorry, just let me finish with this one piece.
Okay.
Right here, it says Cradles to Crayon parking only. So the intention was that this parking was supposed to be for the daycare. And I believe that the second document that was recorded right after it was an easement through this paved area here for 421 to have access off of Soundview. So I wasn't there at the time, but it would appear that there was a trade. They traded parking spaces for access off of through the property off of Soundview Road. And what I could show you is here I have somewhere. Nope. 1 second. Let me share this. Sure. So these are the pictures from yesterday, in the middle, on 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Pictures of the teachers' cars on 421. So they have been using it. Pictures again in that area that was noted on the map, and just by way of conversation from the last meeting, this is during the day when the drop off, in between drop off times, the parking area looks like this. That's more of a comment about the number of spaces that we discussed last time, but these are the spaces that were referenced in that deed that they, to my knowledge, they have been using some of all along.
I still think Bill is accurate. I don't think that's in our wheelhouse right now.
I agree. I think the legality, and I reached out to the town attorney about this, that the legality of the easement would be an issue of the court to resolve. But if, as the town staff, I think the commission has enough information about this right now, and the information has been provided. But my recommendation to encourage you to continue the hearing is based on the fact that these documents were submitted fairly late, and the adjoining property owner is claiming that they would like to have a right to review the documents. And if they submit something new, then we can review it. If not, then we just let the clock run out on the public hearing.
That's a great idea. I think we'll, if all the commissioners agree, that's what I think we should do.
Yeah, I think that's the right answer here. I don't think that we're the people to decide the validity of the easement, but I think we do owe these people, the other property owner, some time to, review everything.
Sure,
So
and we
let's-
have that, ability tonight, so,
Yeah.
so that's
So
great.
let's-
So,
let's-
I
let's
just have
extend it.
one question.
yeah, we could do some clarifying questions, definitely.
Yeah, so if this easement is not available to them, there was a discussion last time about where there are adequate parking spaces. So if that's still a relevant question to us, and those additional parking spaces are not available, would that affect our decision that not enough parking spaces were provided?
I would say yes, because there's a certain amount of parking spaces required for a use. So it absolutely will make a difference. Because if there's not adequate spaces that are required, that's a,
And Frank, the applicants, statements about the parking spaces that are compared to the other establishments that the applicant operates in Connecticut includes the parking spaces that are based on the easement.
exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's pretty clear. Is there any other questions in reference to the application? Not the easement.
I have a little more questions about what we will gain by having the conversation between the two of them. What is, we're kind of getting ourselves in between two landowners.
I think what happens is if they can't come to an agreement, Bill, I think the clock runs out and
So what are they agreeing upon? I look at the documents that Jim puts up and I think they're pretty straightforward. So it's really something that the landowners might negotiate down the road, but I don't understand why. I guess I'm not understanding why we're going to wait another amount of days to
just, I
work
think,
on what we're working on.
well, I think because they, as Steve had said, the information wasn't submitted till Monday on some of this. So just to give all parties a little more time to look at it and digest it.
And Bill,
Maybe
this is
clarify
just,
what information was, maybe I'm a little unclear on what information was put in Monday.
Bill, to answer your first question, I'm not certain you're going to get any new information, but by allowing the time to continue, you're not denying the other property owner their right to speak at the public hearing, in light of the information coming in, very late towards the meeting date. Can you reiterate your second question to me? I'm sorry.
What was the information that came in?
The information that came in was that the existing conditions plan was actually revised following the June 7th meeting to include that easement that was on the plan that shows that additional 15 parking spaces. So that wasn't originally included, and that's new information at this point.
We added the reference deed and map title that I showed you.
But that was what we requested of the applicant, correct? To verify that if there were other arrangements with the adjoining properties, correct?
Yes.
And they
Yes.
did.
Yep.
So now we're kind of, I don't know, I just feel like we're inserting ourselves a bit, so that's just my opinion.
Yeah, no,
No,
completely respectful and understood. Any, is there any other questions on this?
Frank, I have a technical question for Jim of Criscello Engineering.
Go for it.
Okay, let's see, those concrete, I'm just wondering about the concrete filled bollards. There's nothing there now between that parking area that's being used and that white fence in the play yard. Is that correct, other than the fence?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay, so the bollards are, I'm wondering if, are those pre-manufactured bollards or are those concrete cast in place?
They'll probably be set in place. Because
Okay.
they'll be right in front of the new fence.
Right. Yeah, I see that. So, and they're 5 feet on center and
Correct.
4-inch, you think, is that a metal encased concrete pour? Is that what?
That's correct.
Okay, all right, thanks.
Yeah, that's pretty standard on all the playgrounds at the other facilities.
All right, thanks, Jason. Any other clarifying questions in reference to this from commissioners?
I'd just like to ask Al or April, is there anything you'd like to add before they move on from this?
Yes, thank you for the opportunity. My name is April Lukasik. I'm the owner of the Brighton Early Children's Learning Centers here in Connecticut.
And what is your address?
My address, my home address, I'm in Essex, Connecticut.
No, you could use the business. It's fine.
But the
Okay.
the
you.
corporate office is in Cromwell, Connecticut.
You have a
What's
street.
that?
Mill Road, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we
West,
need full name and address for the record.
154 West Street, 3C, Cromwell, Connecticut.
Thank you.
Sure. My question is, this notice that came from the attorney's office came and it expressed that there would be a hardship, and the letter didn't clarify what the hardship is, because I don't understand, the word hardship is just such a broad umbrella term, and there's no clarification. And I also don't understand why the owner didn't reach out sooner, because this has been in the town of Guilford, vision for quite some time. And I just don't understand why it's coming out now. And I'd also like to point out that even a small delay to July 5th is a hardship. We've told families that we are taking over after closing, and this is turning into a hardship for the project on this end.
So I think that question is not something that should be discussed in this meeting unless anybody else feels it should be. It doesn't pertain to us. While I respect that question, that sounds like it is for you guys to discuss offline, you and the other attorney. As far as the hardship, that I can't answer either. I know we, as a zoning commission, have to do it a pretty much a black and white. Do you meet the parking requirements? That's one of the items that we'll be looking at. And so we need to make sure that you do. And that's why I think we are moving. Am I right, Steve, on this?
Yes, you don't have to involve yourself with that.
Is the town questioning whether we meet the parking requirements?
I think that's the case because the Mr. Criscolo's insertment of the easement into this application as a reason for the expanded parking is something that's under dispute. So we need.
Yeah. I guess we didn't know it was under dispute because no one has reached out to us from the, no one has ever reached out. So it sort of blindsided us because we're like, what dispute? Like, I wish someone had reached out to me because.
Well, the easement dates back almost 50 years. So
Right, exactly.
I'm not surprised that you're surprised.
Steve, can I ask, what would be the minimum parking requirement for this project?
There is no minimum parking in the zoning regs for this type of project. My recommendation at the last meeting was for the applicant to provide evidence either from their existing facilities or from the Institute of Traffic Engineers or other relevant data to show that they have adequate parking on the site, since it's not otherwise listed in the table. And I think after the applicant supplied the additional information, we found out that 15 spaces alone is not enough, and that they do need in the range of 30 spaces to match up with what they have on their existing sites.
Which only the easement would allow them to have, correct?
Correct.
Yes.
Thank you.
And I want to make clear for the record too that I'm not doubting the information provided in the easement, but my recommendation to continue the hearing is solely based on the timing of the application and to allow the person who is the neighbor additional time to supply new information.
I think your advice is sound, Steve. Thank you.
Are there any other questions?
I have one question. My name is Art Aldo. I'm the current owner of Cradles to Crayons, and I'm the landowner at 441 Boston Street.
Okay, 441 ball.
And it just goes back to this. I mean, I bought this place with the agreement of this easement that's been on record for 50 years, right? This is negatively going to impact my business. I think if we're going to table this to July 5th, and if it's over this easement, I think that the entire easement should be put on hold until July 5th, including the right of way into the industrial park.
So that is not in our purview.
Well, then why is this being tabled? Because it's in writing that I have those 15 spots.
No, we understand that. Just like Steve pointed out, it's more to digest the information that was
Right,
provided.
so I
on
mean,
Monday.
we got to digest too. So I think if it's going to hurt everyone, if it's going to hurt us, it should hurt everyone.
Well, it is in our right to push it to the July 5th meeting. We have until July 12th, the July 5th meeting. At that point, we will need to close this hearing, because then we will be past the 35 days. I mean, I wish I had a better answer for you, but that's what it looks like it is.
I don't know. What happens if a gate goes up in front of that driveway tomorrow? Because, I'm being negatively impacted here big time.
All right. I think I understand your frustration, sir.
And, I hope it's noted because
It absolutely
this
is.
ridiculous.
Absolutely.
This has been in writing for a long time. I mean, this is what easements are for. This is why they're put on the town records.
All right. Thank you very much. Completely understood.
Okay, thank you.
Is there any other questions? All right, I'm going to kind of take a census here on if you guys want to kind of continue this to the 5th. I know, Bill, you could start because that's a no, right?
No.
Sean,
Yes.
Ted,
I suppose we could do this, but I have to say that I think that I think this has been overturning.
okay, we do have the right to close too as well if we choose as a commission. I'll remind everybody that. Jason,
No,
no to what? No, like close it, don't continue?
yeah, not to continue, to act on it now.
Okay. Did I call Larry yet?
I would act on it now.
Okay. And I got Sean, Kevin.
Oh, jeez. Killing me here. God, I agree.
I apologize for interrupting. I didn't know that. Would I be able to say something very briefly to address something that might help?
In a minute, I want to still hear Kevin, then I'll get to you.
Okay, thank you.
Because only because I'm keeping a little note here.
My brain keeps coming back to the fact that this is a public hearing. One of the main points of having a public hearing is for public input. And we're still in that process, and some information came in late, and another member of public wants time to review that information. Kind of very simple. So I think that they should be granted the extra time to look at that information, even though I don't think it's going to amount to a hill of beans, but it's still like, it's the premise. So I would vote to extend it.
Okay.
So yes.
Yes.
Okay. Lauren, right? Please go ahead.
Yes, that's correct. I only just wanted to reiterate that that's the timing of this is the only reason why we're asking for it to be postponed, to allow us the opportunity to talk with both you, Art, and I'm sorry, I missed your names, April, in order to discuss this, because the fact of the matter is that although that easement has existed, the daycare center has used 3 and 4 spots for this entire 30-year period. So whether there's some kind of resolution that can be that we can come to regarding use of that of those spaces prior to this application being decided and going through, that's merely what we're asking. We just want a little bit of time in order to adequately address the amended site plan, address the impact of the easement, and just have a conversation amongst the adjoining property owners and the prospective buyer.
I have a question for Lauren, if I might.
Go ahead, Bill.
Are you contesting the validity of the easement, or are you just trying to renegotiate?
We haven't gotten the chance to even really look through everything as deeply as we would like to, but we need the opportunity to at least negotiate the use of those parking spaces, which we haven't gotten the chance to do considering the untimeliness of the amended site plan.
And I just want to get a yes or no answer. Do you believe that the easement is in force?
I personally cannot give an answer to that question at this particular moment. I haven't seen analyzed the legality of the easement yet. I can't give you a straight yes or no answer. I apologize.
I think you need to ask the question again, Frank.
The question, which one?
Which way we want to go, because honestly, this is going into the absurd for me.
Yeah, and for me also, it just sounds like a bunch of legal mumbo jumbo for something that's very clear in an easement.
Trying to negotiate these people.
Yeah, it's a legal
I think
document.
it's already there. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, no, completely understand. Completely understand. You know, we're going off of our interim planner as well. You know, Kevin is, you know, it's basically kind of an even slate here on who wants it to continue and who doesn't. Not trying to throw it back on Kevin, but Kevin, do you still think that we should grant this after hearing the commissioners, or do you think it's wise to close? Not putting you on the spot, but I am. Steve, I'm sorry, Kevin. I'm sorry, Kevin.
Okay.
Steve, I apologize.
Sorry.
I'm new at this.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. Could I just ask, I didn't hear what Ted, I didn't hear your response. Was it a yes or a no? I'm sorry.
He was in the middle.
Yeah, he hadn't
No,
quite.
Ted, so you're either a yes or no, or you abstain.
Who
Ted?
is this?
For you, Ted.
We had 3
Oh.
no's and 3 yes, and Frank was
Yeah.
deciding vote.
What- So say yes or no.
I'm no.
Okay,
Thank you.
Steve,
Well, you all just voted to close the public hearing, but my.
oh, no, we never made a motion. That was just me polling.
Oh, polling, okay.
Yeah, no, we didn't make an official motion.
My reasoning stays the same. I think
Okay.
it's cautious to keep the hearing open. I don't anticipate at this time you're going to get any new information, but I think as a matter of fairness, it would be reasonable.
All right, so then we're gonna have to do this way. So somebody make a motion either to close it or to continue.
Make a motion to continue.
Second,
All right, I'm calling it. Larry,
No.
Jason,
No.
Kevin,
yes.
Ted,
No.
Bill,
No.
Sean,
Yes.
and I will vote no. Okay. So we need a motion to close.
So moved.
Second.
Larry,
Yes.
Jason,
Yes.
Kevin,
No.
Ted,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Sean,
No.
I'll vote yes, and it's closed. Okay, we are going to move on to deliberation of public hearing. I need a motion read for this.
You put it up, I'll read it.
Doing,
Henry, can you,
doing Water Street, or are we doing,
this is 230 Water Street.
Voted. Voted that the Guilford Planning and Zoning Commission approve a special permit and coastal site plan for additions and modifications of existing marine commercial buildings. Applicant Greg Fettis Engineering, location 230 Water Street, map 32, lot 97, zone MR1. The approved plans are number one, site plan of 230 Water Street, Guilford, Connecticut, prepared for 232 Water Street LLC, prepared by Greg T. Fettis, PE, dated revised 6/16/23. The applicant is approved in the following condition. Number one, the applicant shall file with the town clerk an original copy of the special permit approval to be provided by the Planning and Zoning Department, and furnish written evidence to the Planning and Zoning Department that the document has been recorded. A final digital copy, single file PDF, and one printed hard copy of the approved plan shall
We
be
haven't reached the
Planning and Zoning
item on the agenda.
prior to the
It's
issuance.
in about 5 minutes, I think.
Who's talking in the background there?
Get everybody muted up, please.
In accordance with the coastal area. I think that was it. Yeah.
Hold on, something happened there. Janique, why is the second page of that memo not showing up?
Yeah, that's. Hold on. I'm
There were
sorry.
2
Okay.
pages, Steve.
Okay,
Yeah, it's
I'm getting
showing
it
up.
here now.
I might have it on my computer.
I've got it, if not.
So is it number 3 there?
Yeah, 3.
The town of Guilford zoning enforcement officer shall be notified to inspect the sedimentation and erosion control measures prior to any site work. Soil stockpile shall be contained by silt fencing or hay bales per approved plan. Soil erosion and sedimentation control measures shall be maintained until vegetation is established or suitable materials installed to the satisfaction of the zoning enforcement officer. An A2 grade final as-built survey shall be submitted for all proposed structures and other improvements prior to the issuance of a final certificate of zoning compliance by the zoning enforcement officer. This application is approved based upon a finding that it conforms with the zoning code and the development is in accordance with the town's coastal area management regulations and plan of conservation and development. This approval shall become effective 15 days after the publication of legal notice of decision upon filing of a special permit certificate with the town clerk. Is that it?
That is, thank you. I need a second, please.
Second.
Is there any discussion before we vote?
Yeah. We voted to close the hearing on the previous application. But did we vote to close the public hearing so that we could go to this part of the business? Is that, do we have another application to discuss before we close the public hearing? Because I don't think.
No, those were the only 2. So we closed both of those.
Okay. I'm cool.
All right. Any discussion on this application, the 230 Water Street? No, pretty straightforward. All right, hearing none, I'll call the vote. Larry,
Yes,
Jason,
Yes.
Sean,
Yes,
Bill,
Yes.
Ted,
Yes.
Kevin,
Yes.
and I will too vote yes, so that is passed unanimously. Thank you.
Thank you.
Greg, is he like in like a giant van or? I saw a gear shift.
All right. We have our second public hearing that was closed, deliberation. Do we have a motion for the 441 Boston Street? Was that prepared and is ready?
I've got one for you if I can share my screen.
Oh, you don't want me
And
to
yeah.
say mine. Okay, go ahead.
This was not in the record, but this is the draft. This is a draft motion based on the plans that were submitted on 6/16 and has the same 4 conditions as the previous application.
Well, we have to read the motion. Kev?
Okay.
You want to read it?
Yeah, sure. I'm just looking because this is different than the email we received later this afternoon. So I'm just.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, sure. I'm happy to read it. Voted that the Guilford Planning and Zoning Commission approve a special permit and coastal site plan for an addition connecting existing daycare buildings. 441 Boston Street, map 48, lot 52, zone R3. The approved plans are 1, existing conditions plan sheet 1 of 3, prepared by Criscola Engineering, Jim Preddy, PE, dated revised 6/16/23. 2, proposed site plan for addition, property located at number 441 Boston Street, Guilford, Connecticut, sheet 2 of 3, prepared by Criscola Engineering, Jim Preddy, PE, dated 6/16/23. 3, proposed landscape plan, sheet 2A of 3, prepared by Criscola Engineering, Jim Preddy, PE, dated revised 6/16/23. 4, site details, sheet 3 of 3, prepared by Criscola Engineering, Jim Preddy, PE, date revised 6/6/23. And 5, proposed ISO LUX plan drawing LT1, prepared by Criscola Engineering, Jim Preddy, PE, dated 6/16/23. The application is approved with the following conditions. 1, the applicant shall file with the town clerk an original copy of the special permit approval to be provided by the Planning and Zoning Department, and shall furnish written evidence to the Planning and Zoning Department that document has been recorded. 2, a final digital copy, a single file PDF, and 1 printed hard copy of the approved plan shall be submitted to the Planning and Zoning Department prior to the issuance of a zoning permit for construction. The town planner is authorized to approve minor changes to the site landscaping, lighting, and building materials following final review by the Design Review Committee. 3, the Town of Guilford zoning enforcement officer shall be notified to inspect the sedimentation and erosion control measures prior to any site work. Soil stockpiles should be contained by silt fencing and/or hay bales per the approved plan. Soil erosion and sedimentation control measures shall be maintained until vegetation is established or suitable material is installed to the satisfaction of the zoning enforcement officer. 4, a final as-built survey shall be submitted for all proposed structures and other improvements as specified prior to the issuance of a final certificate of zoning compliance by the zoning enforcement officer. This application is approved based upon a finding that it conforms with the zoning code and the development is in accordance with the town's coastal area management regulations and plan of conservation and development. This approval shall become effective 15 days after the publication of legal notice of decision and upon filing a special permit certificate with the town clerk.
I will second that as read into the commission here, to the commission.
Okay, and thank you, Jason, and thank you, Kevin. So Steve, do we have to amend those dates?
I believe those are the updated dates.
Yeah.
Okay, wasn't the, okay, so those are,
Yep.
those are correct. Okay, we can go right into a discussion. Sure, somebody has something to say. Anybody want to kick it off?
Yeah, I'll kick it off. I mean, we made several requests at the last meeting. And as I see it, all of those requests have been dealt with in a satisfactory manner. And so I think that we're in a good position to go ahead and approve this.
Okay, thank you, Ted.
I would agree with Ted because I've gone over all the information from the last meeting that was available online and so forth. And, it just seems like a very good, project. Daycare is certainly needed, and I like the way the whole thing has come together.
Yeah, I would totally agree that daycare is needed. I wish the applicant had included the easement as part of their original application, so that we would have further confidence that their abutting neighbors would not want to go into litigation about this process. Now that's my concern, and
Yeah, but what's done is done.
And I think if I'm understanding it correctly, it's a two-way street there, literally, like the people that are using the easement across the Cradles and Crayons current driveway situation are using it to access the property.
that's true.
So
That is
it's sort of like one hand washes the other, and he could put a gate up, as he said, and if there's if they're contesting the validity of the 15 parking spots, I don't think it's for us to decide those things. And
All right, I think you're right. I think that if there is some action to be taken, it's not in our preview to do that. And that could be something down the road. And ultimately things could happen, cease and desist, things like that. And then it might come back up.
yeah, I mean, it could end up coming back, but I think at this point,
Right, exactly.
because I'm thinking way ahead, but I just think there's future value to the property that is, part of this, and that's what the owner's thinking about.
And that could take years in court, who knows,
Yep,
but
yep,
it's not ours, unfortunately.
That's not our role.
Yep. Any other discussion?
Only to say that we have to make our decision based on the available information to us, and the available information includes an easement.
All right, thanks, Larry. So I will call it. I'm going to go in reverse. I'm going to go with Sean.
No.
I'm going to go Bill,
yes.
Ted,
Yes.
Kevin,
No.
Jason,
Yes.
Larry,
Yes,
and I will vote yes. Good luck. And we are done with the deliberation of public hearing items. Can I get a motion to move on to the pending applications?
So move.
Second.
Larry,
yes,
Jason,
Yes.
Kevin,
Yes.
Ted,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Sean,
Aye.
and I will vote aye. Okay, we have 187 3 Mile Course, Mr. Todd Anderson. Is Todd here today? Oh, I see it.
Good evening, everyone. Todd Anderson from Anderson Engineering Survey and Associates, 1054 Boston Post Road in Guilford, here on behalf of my client, Mark Collenberg. This was his mother's home. She has since passed away, and in settling her estate, they hope to divide the property into 2 parcels. His sister is going to get the house and he is going to get the building lot. So there is a memorandum from Janice and she was questioning the open space. So under section 8-25 of Connecticut General Statutes, if it's a parcel of 5 lots or less, there is no designation of open space if it is to be transferred to family members. So that takes care of that one. She does have in her memorandum as well, which I did not receive in time to revise the plans for wetlands or for this commission. She wants the driveway widened to a minimum of 12 feet with 16 feet of clearing. We can achieve that with minimal grading. We went to the Wetlands Commission, had a favorable referral from them. We have to go back before the Wetlands Commission for a regulated activity. And at that time, that the widening of the driveway and everything that Janice is requesting, per her memorandum, will come under greater scrutiny by the Wetlands Commission at that point. And we feel that we can accomplish the widening of the driveway with minimal clearing of brush, maybe 1 or 2 trees being cut down, but not the stumps being pulled, because right now the driveway kind of sits down in a little bit of a low area that gets flooded. And I think that we can cut the trees down, maybe stump grind them and expand the gravel driveway to that 12-foot width without having any impact on the wetlands. But again, all of that will come under greater scrutiny by the Wetlands Commission at that time. She also mentioned that we did not show grading. He has not chosen a specific house that he wants to build in this lot. So I show a generic house on the land. It's a garage under. The house would be raised up out of the ground. There would be minimal blasting to occur for that house to be put in, maybe about 4 feet in the area of the garage, 2 feet of cut at the top of the hill to establish that driveway, and maybe a couple feet of filling towards the wetlands for that driveway. Nothing major in the grading aspect. I did show the silt fence and limit of disturbance on the plan. I feel that no matter which house he chooses, that would be the limits. And again, no more than a couple feet of cut and a couple feet of fill to establish that driveway area up to a garage under house that would stick up out of the hilltop a little bit. So nothing major in the way of grading. The driveway apron that she wanted paved, that's a standard town regulation requirement, paved to the highway line. It is not shown on this plan. I apologize for that, but that could be a condition of approval. Tracking pad is another thing that happens when we go for the regulated activity. This is not a development plan. This is just a plan to establish a building lot. She mentioned a turnaround area to be provided at the existing house. We have provided an easement area for establishing a turnaround, but we have not shown one on this plan. Again, this is not a development plan. It is just a subdivision plan. She mentioned monuments along the street line. I have no problem as a condition of approval to put in a couple monuments at the property corners for the street line. But we did show on our plan iron pins to be set at the rear property corner and the major angle of the division line between the lots per town standards. That is on the plan already. We did not show proposed points in the middle of the driveway where the driveway is going to be obviously made better and re-established. But if she wants points set on those points after the driveway is done, we could certainly provide those as well. She also mentioned an easement for the power line through the property. I had contacted my contact Sean up at Eversource about establishing an easement for that power line prior to the subdivision. And he stated that CLNP will not do an easement on a proposed property without that property being established. So that will have to happen after the subdivision. And I was also talking to my client, and he was thinking that he may be going underground with the power to both houses from the road anyways, and eliminating that pole. So all of that is going to have to happen after this process, because Eversource will not even entertain an easement area until the property is created. And I think that covers everything that she had in her memorandum. The both
We have the
lots.
ability to see the plan.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, if somebody could put up the plan for me, please. I don't have the ability to share.
I think that everybody does.
Not on my little wimpy laptop, sorry. And I don't have video on my main computer. I'm working on getting that.
Is it this one, Todd?
Yes, that is the site development plan. That shows the contours and the proposed development and everything. It's basically all the information that is on the subdivision plan. The subdivision plan is basically a watered down version of this, just showing the record property lines and everything. But
So
this one shows all the nuts and bolts of the project.
So the 12-foot wide part is just there where before the joint.
From the road to the proposed split off of the driveway. Right now, it's an existing 10-foot plus or minus wide driveway gravel crossing the two wetland areas. Obviously, it was filled back. I think this property was created in 1964, which is the reason why this is a subdivision. This property was a first split off of the Medad Stone Tavern property back in 1964. So it is after zoning. So that is the reason why this is a subdivision, not a first split, because it's after zoning. So
widening the driveway a foot on each side.
yes. Yeah, and again, that has to go back before the Wetlands Commission for their approval and their full regulation of what they want us to do, whether they want any mitigation. In order to do that, we will not have to fill any wetlands. As I stated, that driveway sits down kind of in a little bit of a trench between the two wetlands. There's like 6-inch to 12-inch berms on either side of the driveway. So I think we can fill in that trench area of the driveway and expand that gravel 1 foot either side and not have to fill any wetlands. There would just be some tree removal involved in accomplishing that.
Kevin, this came before you initially, is that correct?
That is correct. Yes.
Do you have any thoughts on the widening of it?
Not really. Unfortunately, I did not make this walk. But I would say the widening of the driveway was not a big issue with the Wetlands Commission. It was more the fact that the regulated activity hadn't been approved. So there was a commissioner or two who had a problem with kind of putting the cart before the horse. Other than that, there was really no issues.
And Kevin, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe you guys are probably going to want to walk this again when I come back for the regulated activity plan.
Yeah, you know,
You
that.
guys are probably gonna want to look at this driveway again at that point.
Yep. Yeah, but I mean, there were some questions about the driveway, but I think you answered them rather effectively, Todd. So we
Okay.
didn't spend much time on that, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Todd, are you all set?
I believe I am, unless there's any questions.
Yep. Any questions from the commissioners here? This is not a public hearing, so.
I have a question just for Kevin.
Yes.
Did they have to, did we have to continue it in order for it to go back to you, or are they separated in some way with respect to the regulated activity? Can we act on this now, or do we wait another meeting?
My belief is that they can be separated out. And actually, I actually thought we were going to be voting on this evening, but I didn't see a motion for it. So then I said, oh, I wonder if we're waiting for more information or something.
I didn't
I
provide a motion at this time.
I think I addressed all of Janice's concerns, and the Wetlands Commission won't see the regulated activity until this lot is created. If the lot does not become a lot, then my client is not going to spend the time, money, and resources to come up with a full development plan for the lot if the lot is not going to be a lot. Basically is what I'm
We're just
getting at.
approving a building lot.
Yeah, I think to kind of answer your question, Bill, so because that question came up at the wetlands meeting about, hey, should we even be referring on this positively until the regular activity has been addressed? And the answer was from both Todd and from Kevin is as long as the applicant and as long as town staff feels that this is a buildable lot, then there's nothing preventing the Wetlands Commission from reporting to P and Z favorably, and then the regular activity can be handled afterwards.
I think we're in a quandary here because we don't have a motion, so we'll automatically go to the next meeting. Is that correct?
I didn't provide a motion because I was hoping that the plans could be revised to address Janice's and I's comments prior to deciding on it.
Okay.
So 2 questions. So one.
I'm sorry, that's not the way you hope this to go, Todd, but I didn't anticipate that we would be deciding on this evening because of those outstanding items.
So Kevin, Kevin, I gotta stop saying it. Steve. That might be something there to that, Kevin, but okay. So Steve.
Steve, you got to change your name.
Yeah.
This is the only town that calls me Kevin, so I'm sorry. Sticking with Steve.
I have no desire to be the town planner or the interim town planner either.
So are we good with Todd's the whole interpretation of the open space fee in lieu of? I just want to be clear that's been addressed. We don't have to look at that anymore.
I raised that as a question, but I didn't propose it to Todd. But that is legitimate, yeah.
All right, so I can cross that off. So then we could either try to wing a motion, or we can, like he said, to kind of, we could continue it to the July 5th. Once again, this is not a public hearing, to reflect the comments. So, and I know Todd basically read Janice's letter, so.
Frank, can I have the opportunity to share some outstanding comments that I have too?
I'd love for you to do that.
Okay. I think there's some information on here which I'd like clarified to start off with, Todd. I was wondering if you can clarify what you're referencing on the lots when you say the net area, right of way area, gross area, and upland area. I can guess what upland area is, being that it's the area that's likely within the 100-foot wetlands review boundary, but I'm not sure what those other items mean.
Upland area refers to a non-wetland area. It's not the area up to the 100-foot review. It is all the land gross area up to the wetlands line. The gross area of a lot is when you're deeded a lot, you have your lot lines. And that area is your gross area. Then there's the right-of-way area, which is each lot has a right-of-way on it. Both lots 1 and 2 have right-of-way areas which are deeded to the respective neighboring lot. So that lot area comes out of the equation of the gross area to come up with the net area. And it's the net area exclusive of right-of-ways, which is what the zoning pertains to. Like, say you're required to have 40,000 square feet of lot area exclusive of a right-of-way. That would be a minimum of 40,000 square feet net area that a lot needs to be deemed a zoning compliant lot. So in this zone, we are required to have 20,000 square feet. So we have about 1.5 times that amount. Well, the lot 1 has actually, yeah, twice as much, almost twice as much net area. So each lot has almost twice as much area per zone for the lot. And in this zone, you need 20,000 square feet of upland area, which is why I state the upland area. Lot 1 has 24,000 square feet. Lot 2 has 37,000 square feet. So we are above the criteria for upland area, above the criteria for net land area. And both lots have well and above the required squares for this zone. The lot 2 lacks the frontage for the zone, which is why I show those building lines at 30 feet all the way around the lot, because this will be an interior lot. So actually, lot 2, I'm gonna backtrack myself. Lot 2, because it's an interior lot, needs 1.5 times the amount of lot area per zone. So that minimum area is 30,000 square feet, and we have 40,000 square feet. So we are above the zoning requirement for that as well.
Thank you. Next item, Todd, you've clarified a lot of the comments that I put in the report about the fee in lieu, the recommendations from the town engineer. I'm wondering if you can provide a zoning compliance table on the map, which says the basic information, like what the zone is and what the lot standards are, and show the buildable squares on the lot.
I certainly could.
For this record subdivision. Okay. I can draft a motion if you all would want right now, and we can come back to this. Just let me know.
Todd, I'm sorry, Frank, is it okay if I?
Please do, Kevin.
Todd, would it be a tremendous inconvenience to wait until July 5th? Just to kind of dot the i's, cross the t's on a motion?
Order.
Let me check my calendar because I think I'm away that week, but I'm not sure if I have another meeting with you guys that day. I have so many meetings coming up, it's not even funny.
Well, that's a good thing.
Me too.
July 5th is my anniversary, guys.
Congratulations.
Yeah, maybe.
Invite the wife.
It's been recorded.
I know. If I just checked my calendar, if I don't have to be here on July 5th, that would be tremendous. But if I have to, it is what it is.
Why don't we try and get the motion drafted and act on it tonight?
I would agree. Okay. So Steve, you can do that while we're kind of going through the next Todd.
I'll do that right now.
Right here.
All right, thanks, Steve.
Do it quick because the next one's going to be about 30 seconds.
Okay, do we have, it's not a public hearing, so I don't have to close. We could just go on. Is that correct?
Oh, you mean go on to the new applications?
No, we still have one more under pending.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So is that correct? I could just go?
I think.
I think so.
Okay. That's official then. So is there somebody here to present for 539 Boston Street?
You got it.
Okay, here we go.
For the record, Todd Anderson, Anderson Engineer, I'll talk slow, Steve. For the record, Todd Anderson, Anderson Engineering and Surveying Associates from Guilford, Connecticut, 1054 Boston Post Road. This application should not have been before you for acting tonight. It was only to be received tonight. It is going to be heard by the Wetlands Commission on July 12th. There is an off-site wetland that is about maybe 70 feet away from the property that was mapped on a previous surveyor's plan. So in caution, I referred it to the Wetlands Commission for their referral for subdivision. So that will be heard on July 12th. So I would respectfully like to continue this to the July 19th meeting with you guys.
Okay, we could do that with no issue, I believe. Right, Steve? I know you're busy, but
Yep.
all right. Do I need to make a motion on this, or somebody needs to make a motion?
Do you have two keyboards, Steve?
No,
Hey,
I only
don't
have
harass him.
10 digits here too.
I would move that we delay this until July 19th.
All right.
Second.
So we're tabling this because it's not a public hearing to July 19th.
Correct.
Okay, I got a second. Larry,
Yes.
Jason,
Yes.
Kevin,
Yes.
Ted,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Sean,
Yes.
Frank, DeAndrea. Yes.
Thank you.
We
I'm sorry, I didn't. hear
working
who
on that. We could
seconded.
probably go to the next one too, right? 'Cause
I'm
Jenry,
sorry,
did you have something to say? I'm sorry.
I didn't hear who seconded the motion.
I
Yeah.
did, Janique.
Okay, thank you.
Kevin did.
Steve, how you making out? Do you want us to receive the new applications?
Yes, if you could move forward.
All right, so I'm gonna receive a new application for Ryan P. and Aaron M. Conley on 54 Water Street, map 32, lot 71, zone R3. This is gonna be a special permit to construct a 2-car garage and an accessory dwelling unit with a footprint above 750 square feet. We like to receive and set a public hearing for July 19th.
You need a second for that? Or?
No, I need somebody to say so moved.
So moved.
And a second.
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 All right, Sean. Sean?
We could do the minutes too.
No, I need to, don't we have to vote that?
Yeah.
Sean?
Yes.
We do.
Sean? Is that an aye, a yes?
Aye.
Aye, okay, Bill,
Yes.
Ted,
Yes.
Kevin,
Yes.
Jason,
Yes.
and Larry.
Yes.
I will vote yes.
All right, so
Okay.
Frank, I'm sorry, I need to find out who you chose.
I knew that was coming.
That was a doozy for me.
I seconded.
I think I made the motion. To,
Yeah, Jason moved and Bill second.
Okay, thank you.
You are welcome. I know you really want Scott back, but it's almost there. All right. So yeah, let's go before we circle back. Give Steve a couple more minutes here. We can approve the minutes from the June 7th, 2023 meeting.
As
Can I get a
amended.
motion? As
And
amended
Larry's,
per Larry's comment.
They seem correct now.
Okay, somebody can move to accept this, to approve it.
So moved.
Second.
Got that, Jim Reed? That would be Sean.
Yes, I did.
Larry,
Yes.
Jason,
Abstain.
Kevin,
Yes.
Ted,
yes,
Bill,
Yes.
Sean.
Aye.
Aye. And Frank DeAndrea will abstain as well. So 2 abstentions in that one. While we're waiting, is there other commission business? Steve's busy. Jen Reek, do you have anything you want to share with us?
No, I just want to make sure that we did entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
Yes, we did, right? Both of them.
Okay, so you guys did it separately. Okay.
Yes, separately.
Okay.
So what's the status of collating all the comments for the zoning reform?
Okay, so I spoke with Glenn Chalder on Monday, and he told me that, you know, he's trying to get everything tabulated, I should say, sorry, and he will get that out to you guys around July 5th, around that week. So you'd have 2 weeks to digest and you know, receive everything and discuss with him, so he can come back and you could, you know, present to the public what's happening on July 19th. So he's asking for, you know, the commissioners to give him at least until July 5th to give it to you guys, and then you guys can present it to the public on July 19th.
And
Thank
the
you.
only other comment I have is thank you, Jernique.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jernique.
No worries.
Big time. Thank you, Jernique.
You
Yes.
kept the engine running. Thank you very much.
right,
Isn't that the truth?
Yeah.
yeah.
Nigel.
Nigel, of course, I'm Nigel, yes.
Yep.
I think I'd also put this in a public record. I did get a call today from a resident, and she expressed her dissatisfaction with the meeting going back to virtually only. She believes that with a virtual only meeting, that the public is, you know, feels shut out of the meetings, and she requested that we have hybrid meetings moving forward for all planning and zoning meetings. I did tell her that I would relay that information to the board, and I am doing so now.
I do appreciate your comments, and I think that we should make every effort to do that.
And when
Makes
is the calendar of meetings set up for the next year? And the reason I ask is that we should look at the calendar for the major Jewish holidays, Muslim holidays, and I think Catholic holidays are already accounted for. And we can't have a set thing of when a meeting is going to come in conflict with a holiday, because all these religions, the holidays are on lunar calendars.
Okay,
So each year you have to adjust it.
Right.
different.
It's every year.
So in other words, they're not the same day of every week, every year.
Right,
Right. And our commission, for example, won't be affected every time. It'll be affected once in a while.
So Larry, to answer your question today, I had Tracy Brickman put this on our website. I'm sorry, the meeting dates and application deadlines, that's for the public to see. So on our website right now, hold on. He's not coming across. What's going on here? I'm sorry, hold on. It's not cooperating right now. There we go. All right, so I did have, you know, all the meeting dates for the fiscal year. So of course it would end June 19th, 2024. So I'm not sure if the commissioners would like to go through that and, you know, kind of see, you know, if there's any conflict with any holidays, religious holidays, but it is online for the public. And I did add that, you know, these things are subjected to cancellation, changes probably could be added. So,
Mhm.
so those dates are there.
That's great. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I'll send you a note if there conflict with holidays.
Okay. I tried to look at it. I did send it to Scott, and he said he thinks it looks good, but you know, you guys could take a look at it as well.
Waiting on you, Steve. No pressure.
I've got a draft for you, and I'll share it with you now.
Look at you, right on time.
Good job.
Nice.
So Steve, where are you right now?
Physically,
Yeah,
I'm at my house
where is that?
in Trumbull.
Wow.
Okay, so you're not that far away.
Why don't you move to Guilford?
I love Guilford.
Probably can't afford to live here because we don't have affordable housing.
Larry.
Oh, Larry. Yeah.
All right, so somebody please read this.
Just review it for me.
All right, I mean, I'll read it out loud if you.
Can you make it a little bit larger?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yes, sorry.
The approval plans are site development plan, Cullenberg property 187 3 Mile course prepared by Jonathan Bodwell. Professional engineer dated revised 6/5/23 as amended by this approval. Number 2, record subdivision map, Cullenberg property 187 3 Mile course, Guilford, Connecticut, prepared by Eric Anderson. Did revised 6/5/23 as amended by this approval. This application is approved with the following conditions. Number 1, the record subdivision map shall be revised to include the following and shall be approved by the town planner and town engineer. Minimum square. So minimum square of the lot.
Yes. Should I include of the lot?
Yeah.
Isn't the minimum square for the buildable area for a structure? Minimum square, it has to be certain size, has to fit in there.
Let's make it explicit, Bill, just, you know. B, zoning compliance table with all applicable lot requirements and zone district. Okay. I think that's fine. I don't think there's any problem with that. C, monuments along the street right of way and steel rods or pins should be provided for the boundaries of the lots. That's pretty standard, right?
Yes, that's from the subdivision regulations.
And
Section 36.
they'll have to hire a professional surveyor to do that, right?
Yeah, what I'm asking here is that they just be shown on the map per Janice's
Okay,
comment.
all right. Number 2.
Wonder where they can find one of them.
Number 2, the site development plan shall be revised to include the following and shall be approved by the town planner and town engineer. A, site grading. B, driveway apron in accordance with town standards. C, widen the existing driveway to a minimum of 12 feet with a 16-foot clearance. So what that basically means is that there's no vegetation of any meaningful size within 16 feet of the center. Right.
If I may, Janet's wanted that to ensure that a fire truck can make it through the driveway.
Yeah, right. Okay. Is that it? Steve?
Yep.
Okay.
Oh wait, I think I just missed 2 items here. One being a tracking pad.
Yep.
In the erosion and sedimentation control. I'll say for erosion and sedimentation control. And a turnaround area for the existing house.
You got it.
So is this envisioned to be a cul-de-sac? It is, isn't it?
No, it's a residential driveway for two houses.
Oh, just two houses.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and the,
there's
and
only
the,
two
and
houses
the,
on
and
this
the,
property.
and the proposed turnaround is just for the existing house.
Oh, okay. All right. All right.
Can I add one more thing? Steve, at the end of it, does it need to has this application is approved based upon a finding that conforms with the Town of Guilford zoning code?
We could include language that it is approved in conformance with the zoning and subdivision code
Okay.
if we want.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do that.
Hey, Steve, unique
Yes.
job.
What?
If you're typing with two fingers, you're good.
So quiet.
How's that?
Yes.
Looks good. I mean, this is going to come before us again.
Why?
In some form or another, it's going to come before us again.
Why?
Or it's going to go before inland wetlands, right?
It
It'll
will
come
be,
before
it will
inland
go,
wetlands, but I don't see why it would come before us
I
again.
think it just goes straight to the building department.
Yep.
Okay.
And
well, we have,
and
we
the
have, we
health
have we have a regulated activity plan that has to be approved by the Wetlands Commission. And then it goes before, then it goes to building permit.
and health.
Yes. And, oh, and I didn't mention before, we do have approval from the health department for the B100A for the existing house and the approval of the proposed septic for the proposed lot.
So you did tests already?
Yes, yes, and full design of the proposed septic system for the proposed lot. We have a code complying primary and reserve area shown, and we have a B100 reserve area for the existing house. Both approved by the health department.
So, Todd, you basically have those in your pocket.
Excuse me?
You basically have those in your pocket right now.
Yes,
Okay.
not the inland wetland regulated activity permit. We
No, I
just have
understand.
the,
I
we
understand.
just have the subdivision referral from them.
Right, right.
Also got green lighted by Deep.
Oh, thank you, Kevin. I
Yeah.
meant to mention that before. I sent in a National Diversity Database deep request because this does fall within the NDDB area of concern. And I sent in a request and got a favorable letter back from them that this should not have any impacts.
Okay. So are we going to vote on this?
Yes.
Somebody's got to read it officially.
Well, I've already read it once. Someone else can read it.
All right, Larry.
All right, hang on a second. Zoom, okay. And can you make it just a little bit bigger?
Oh,
Yeah,
and
thank
and may I interject for a second and just mention that this is also a CAM application because the subdivision is within 1,000 feet of the coastal resource. So it is a coastal site plan application as well.
You're pushing it, Todd.
Sorry.
Okay,
All right. One quick second.
voted.
I'm getting it now for you. I'm sorry. Hold on.
Mhm.
For whatever reason, I can't zoom on that. I could zoom on this. Okay, how is that there?
Yep, we're good.
Looks good.
Voted that the Guilford Planning and Zoning Commission approve a two-lot subdivision and coastal site plan application. Applicant Todd Anderson, location 187 3 Mile Course, map 70, lot 10A, zone R3. The approved plans are 1, a site development plan, Cullenberg property, 187 3 Mile Course, prepared by Jonathan Bodwell, PE, dated revised 6/5/23, as amended by this approval. 2, record subdivision map, Cullenberg property, 187 3 Mile Course, Guilford, Connecticut, prepared by Eric Anderson and dated revised 6/5/23, as amended by this proposal. The application is approved with the following conditions. The record subdivision map shall be revised to include the following and shall be approved by the town planner and town engineer. A, minimum square of the lot. B, zoning compliance table with all applicable lot requirements and zone district. C, monuments along the street right-of-way and steel rods or pins should be provided for the boundaries of the lots. 2, the site development plan shall be revised to include the following and shall be approved by the town planner and town engineer. A, site grading. B, driveway apron in accordance with town standards. C, widen the existing driveway to a minimum of 12 feet with a 16-foot clearance. D, tracking pad for erosion and sedimentation control. E, a turnaround area for the existing house. This application is approved based upon the finding that it conforms with the town of Guilford zoning code and subdivision code.
I will second that.
Okay.
Okay, thank you for the second. Is there any discussion on this? Or any thoughts?
I'm sorry, I'm sharing my screen for the DEP, the deep memo, and you read the motion again, Larry, is that so?
Unique, I'm sharing my screen.
Oh, so I guess we're both sharing our screens. Let me stop this. I'm sorry. Okay, I was reading that.
Yeah, Janique, we're seeing Steve's, not yours.
Ah, I see. Okay. No worries. I took mine off. It's fine. All right, no problem.
Okay. All right, so any discussion? All right, Larry,
Yes.
Sean,
Aye.
Jason,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Kevin,
I'll abstain.
Ted,
Yes.
and I will also vote yes. That is approved.
Thank you very much. Have a great night, guys.
A nice anniversary.
Hey, nice anniversary,
you.
Todd.
I'll see
welcome,
you on the
Todd.
19th.
Right.
Take care.
And we've done everything else other than,
Darren.
was there any other business or anything? If I think we did all of that right while we were waiting.
Yep.
Steve, we good?
I got nothing else.
And
Thanks,
Janique, you're good?
All that out.
All right.
I think we should all just once again thank Steve and Janique.
Yes.
Very much.
Great job. Yeah.
Big thank you to Chernique and Nigel for holding it down.
And Nigel, yeah.
You guys are awesome.
Been pretty, I think seamless personally, but it's been great.
It has. All right, well, not to delay this, how about a motion to close?
Motion to close.
Second.
All in favor, show your hand.
Aye.
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 Aye. Have a great
I will.
week.
Steve, Janique, everybody have a great day. I appreciate it.
No
Thank
problem.
you.
Have a
Good night, guys.
Thank you.
Aye.